much do you guys think about body position when you're riding? If you look down, I don't know how well you can see, but I've got my toes pointed in on the bike. I used to talk about this a lot on the channel. I don't as much, but pointing toes in is something I've harped on with my boys a lot. It's good for any type of riding. It's good for enduro riding. It's good for motocross, because then it just naturally helps you pinch the bike better. It keeps your feet from getting wiped off by trees and roots, things on the side of a trail, which when you're up in this stuff like that, like when you hit one of these logs that's been cut on the side of the trail, if your toe is pointed out, or if a rock, like one of those rocks comes along, your toe's pointed out, it kind of tears you off the bike. Rips that foot around, and it's not a pleasant thing. Can hurt your knee, and make you crash, to be honest. So if you hit that same thing with your toe pointed in, it's just gonna push into the frame of the bike, which your boots are stiff and strong, so you're not gonna get hurt, but it's just going to, it won't twist off. At the very worst, it'll just push the foot back. Hello. At the very worst, it'll just push your foot back off the peg, but it won't like rip your knee apart, which is a positive thing. So, but then also because now you've got your toes pointed in, you're going to naturally be gripping the bike more as your knees bend. It's gonna force your knees together, and as you bend at the knee, you'll have more and more traction on the bike. Hello. So it's an all-around good thing to do. So I mean, if you're something to think about when you're out riding, there's certain things like other things. I've talked about this a lot over the years, but notice how I have my hand on both controls. Now I'm going slow because this is obviously an area where we're going to see a bunch of people. Hello, how are you guys? Hello. But I've got always one finger on the clutch, one finger on the brake. Hello. Hi, how are you guys? Hello. But one finger on the clutch over here with my left hand, one finger on the brake, and then keeping those toes pointed in. And I try to stay on the balls of my feet on the foot pegs, so I've got the extra suspension. Man, we got a lot of people here. Hello. If I'm on the balls of my feet, I've got like a lot of extra travel in my ankles for the suspension. Well, that's a good thing. Although then I'll have to shift my foot forward to hit the brake, which is okay. So I'll favor a little bit more forward on my foot with that right foot, but not a lot, because I want to have to move a little bit forward to hit that brake. And sometimes, like especially if I'm on a downhill, I'll be pretty much covering the brake with that foot. So if you look at my boots, you'll see after a while you'll see the wear patterns. I try to be on the balls of my feet, and I'm on the balls of my feet more on my shifting side than on my brake side, because you have to cover that brake sometimes, right? So just some things to think about here as we go along. Body position. Now I'm standing up, real quite straight up right now because I'm just leisurely going, but when things get gnarly or I'm getting more aggressive, I will crouch down into more of an attack position. It doesn't really do a lot of good to try to show you right now what the attack position looks like, because you can't tell just from this camera if I had a camera off the bike. But yeah, as things get steeper and more gnarly, I lean back more. shift, I hinge at the waist, you know, hinge at the hips, get a stretch in those hamstrings, get my butt back and get down into really aggressive athletic attack position is what it's called. But yeah, body positioning, it's important. It's become like these things, and you just kind of work it in to where it becomes second nature. So for me, it is second nature to be going on most trails with one finger out on that clutch, one finger out on that brake, especially, you know, if it's on a really steep uphill, I might like not have my finger on the brake because I know I'm not going to need it for a hot minute if I'm on an uphill and I'm just trying to hang on. But the rest of the time, you'll see me out there, fingers on controls, and knowing I might need that brake, I'm on the back, have that foot poised and ready to move forward just a little bit. So, yeah, it's just certain things to think about. Also, this isn't like an off-camber trail, really. There's a good flat spot here. But you want to weight the downhill peg. Put your weight, so in this case, since it's downhill to my left, if I was traversing a side hill, which this has got a nice flat spot in the trail, if this was a side hill, I'd be putting weight, most of my weight, into that outside peg, the downhill peg. I know that might sound counterintuitive, but we want to put it into that downhill peg. Hello. I'm seeing more people on this trail today. It's weird too because I'm on a weekday. I believe this is a Wednesday. And usually I don't see people out this much on a Wednesday. I don't come up here on weekends. It's too busy. Hikers, mountain bikers, horses. I'm glad I haven't run into the horses today, because I know they were on this trail. I saw horse crap and plenty of tracks on this one. I'm gonna be very careful because I can see horse tracks going both directions on this. So I'm gonna go real slow here and hope I don't bump into them. But this trail, this is already a dust bomb. They might have actually widened this with one of those trail cutters. It kind of looks like that, and that would explain also why it's so loose. But I'm seeing horse hooves. Yeah, they did widen this thing right here for sure. The trail cat. But I'm seeing horse hooves. So I'm gonna be extra careful. I don't want to run into some horses and spook them real bad. So I'm just going really slow and as quiet as I can.